But I'll tell you what I really think. I say, isn't it a shame all those people are dead, all because of a rigged election? Because if our election wasn't rigged, you would have had nobody dead.
Oh, man. That is the beauty of Donald Trump. He doesn't need to do any better. He'll never need to do any better, right? I mean, look, his explanation was, what a shame. It's so horrible what's happening in Ukraine. But, that's all because of a rigged election. And then he said nobody would be dead had he won in 2020. But of course, he goes on to elaborate no further on to how exactly that may be. He goes on to offer no in-depth advice. And of course, the full interview has yet to be fully released.
If the election wasn't rigged, you would have had nobody dead.
When you said to Putin, don't invade Ukraine, what was his response?
Well, I told him what our response was going to be, and his response was, really? I said, really?
What did you say your response
And
would
you
be?
know what? If he believed me, good, but if he believed me only 5%, he would have said, I'll never do it.
But the point is that we know he's not going to go any further than that because he doesn't need to. And let this be further evidence that, as everyone has said, including Steve Bannon recently, of course, Donald Trump's coming back. Of course, we know how popular he is. But this, too, will be one of the bigger things that he puts on the forefront of his campaign. It won't just be that he won 2020. It'll be he'll use what's going on, obviously, in Ukraine right now to say that, we need me back now. We have to have me back now because, unfortunately, the conflict is going to drag on likely for quite some time. So it's just going to be ammunition, and we're just going to hear more and more of this. So buckle up and get ready for it.
What did you say the response would be?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, but it was a very strong response.
But did you threaten to use, for example, the nuclear capability?
I don't want to talk about it.
As he's been doing?
I don't want to talk about that. What I did say is we're going to be very strongly responding if you do that. I also said to President Xi, don't go into Taiwan. And there's going to be a very strong response. They both understood that.
Now, of course, we don't know. But, as Elon Musk is now taking over Twitter, is Trump going to come back to Twitter? Who knows? But again, whether he's on Twitter or not, honestly, at this point, it really doesn't matter. Because especially around election time, we've seen Donald Trump, start and fail, well, many a dozen of things over the course of the last several decades. However, recently we've seen him try to start a lot of social platforms, and they've, grown and fallen as, in a night and just really, really quickly. But he really can continue to do that, especially the closer we get to election time, because people will hop on a platform that he makes just to, hear him say what he has to say during the election time, just to get that bullhorn. So whether Trump comes back onto Twitter or not, he's going to be on some type of outlet. There's going to be no way that we're not going to hear him and see him everywhere. So honestly, whether he hops on Twitter again or not is irrelevant because he is the Republican Party.
I think I'm a very honest man. That's
but to those who don't like you...
Much more honest than you, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty honest.
Because I don't think you're real. Isn't it a shame all those people are dead, all because of a rigged election? Because if our election wasn't rigged, you would have had nobody dead.
I believe it was a free and fair election and that you lost.
You don't really believe that?
That's my belief.
All right. Well, then you're a fool.
And, don't be surprised at all if Donald Trump doesn't end up debating because he won't need to. And because, again, the Republican Party, they're going to have to defend actual policy issues. So Trump, he'll be able to scream from the top of his lungs that he won in 2020. He'll be able to use what's going on in Ukraine. He'll be able to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. He'll be able to do stuff like that all he wants. But when it comes down to it, he's not going to want to be pressed about things like abortion. What Republican states are doing, outlawing abortion all over the country right now. He's not going to want to talk about what's happening with trans rights. He's not going to want to discuss those types of things. Now, not only because, it looks bad on the Republican Party, but more importantly, because he don't know what the hell he's talking about. And he don't know what the hell's going on. So definitely keep that in mind. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double whammy right there. Not only, can the Republican Party not defend what they're doing, but their king and the person at the helm of their entire organization is completely incapable of even understanding the issues like that, really talking about them in a meaningful way. So, this really is what we got. Ron DeSantis, he's got plenty of time to kick his feet back. I really don't particularly expect him to really want to run this go round. He can stay comfortable where he's at in Florida, continue to gain popularity. It is a possibility, but here comes Donald Trump.